Welcome to Soviet Russia, товарищи. We have to make a major attack here on a German position, and the orders have been made pretty clear to me that if Uncle Joe does not see us get the victory here, every single one of us may potentially be sent to the gulag. Already, all of our main Soviet generals are already under suspicion. Some of them have been taken away, and it's clear that old Uncle Joe does not believe we are doing a good job at taking this position. So I hate to tell you, my friends here on the battlefield, many of you will die today, but you will die in glory to the Soviet Union. The orders are going to be simple. We're going to take half of our forces here with one tank unit and actually try to get behind the enemy forces over here. So let's go ahead and start deployment. I want to make an actual hunt maneuver into this area. Do we even have a hunt maneuver is the real question. So at this point, I'm just going to do very standard fast move. And with the guys at this location... Oh, the guys at this location. No. How about just the tanks? Let's just take the tanks, eh? Fair enough. So here we go. We'll push directly forward. This is going to be the pretty much approach to this mission, so wish us luck. And don't forget, my friends, if you don't want to hit that like button and comment down below and subscribe if you're new, well, maybe it'll be you in the gulag next. Best of luck. Contact has been made, my friends, and it looks like we've got some actual Germans on top of that hill, 70.9. I actually want to start stopping some of these tanks right here before we get into a compromising situation. And as you can see, they stopped right on a dime. Absolutely beautiful. Just want to go ahead and select that area, keep it under fire. We've got some T-34s here that pretty much know what they should be doing. But I think taking that hill is not going to be easy. So let's go ahead, get this guy on an attack order of 70.9. We're under fire again. What's amazing is that our troops, some of them are returning fire to the enemy, but we haven't officially spotted them in the upper right-hand screen. And until we do that, I'm not sure our fire is going to be very effective. As you can see, we're taking a lot of shots from over here, a lot of machine gun rounds. So we really do have to get our eyes on the enemy here and return fire as soon as possible. Take just specifically this tank, and I'm going to fast move him here. And I'll do the same with this tank to pretty much provide some support against the machine guns over here at the crossroads area. More enemy contact. We're finally spotting them. Let's see what we've got here. Just a huge amount of German trench works. Even some pillboxes. This is not something I expected at all. But we absolutely have some enemy pillboxes. And it looks like our own artillerymen are hitting those locations, trying to knock some enemies down. Nice shooting, boys. Oh, beautiful shooting. The glory of the Soviet Union never ceases to amaze me. And Uncle Joe is going to be getting his revenge one way or another here. Even if it means losing every single one of the units we send onto the field. You can see the men are already approaching these hills. Without a doubt, anyone surviving in this assault, here in the frontal stages of the assault at least, will be given the title of Hero of the Soviet Union. Look at that, hitting that pillbox with some pretty heavy fire. We can actually see the crater on top from the artillery, but the enemy's also got a lot of AT guns right here. And we're getting that under fire quote continually. They want to make sure we know all of the enemies firing at us here. So I'm going to stop these guys on the right side. We also have continuous fire coming from there, but I really just want our guys returning fire. And it looks like finally they are. Not in the best position, obviously, but given the position we have, we've got to make do. Not to mention we've got these tank reinforcements arriving. Maybe they can make a big difference on the frontal lines here. Got to be careful, though. These trenches are easy to fall into and obviously lose tanks with. We want to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Keep up the fire. Keep up the fire, boys. Might be kind of hard to see with all of the smoke in the way from the explosions. We should be able to look up there. Executed partially. So I think we might lack some command points here. But we are absolutely bombarding this area. to try and rid any enemies in this area before our men actually can take advantage and secure it. Gonna fast move these boys here, because all that's gonna happen to them here with that continuous fire air is they're gonna get shot at and probably wasted. Alright, nice. Some of those tanks are firing. I'd like to get them a little bit closer, though. We've even got some very brave units here, right there with our PPSHs, preparing to do as much damage as need be. Go for it, son. Here we go, bringing the T-34s to bear against the fascists. And it looks like we did take a key point here. Beautiful, 79. So we have taken the hill, although you can see there are still enemies in the area, and even our own men are potentially going to get hit by shrapnel there from our own rounds. But again, you know, Uncle Joe could care less. It's all about taking these areas. Who cares about the few men lost in the process? If they run, they're enemies. If they stick around and live, maybe, just maybe, we can actually make them heroes of the Soviet Union. So once again, I'm going to force all of these units to fast move up that hill, also because I think it's a really good vantage point to see these other German areas. You can see that the Germans control a large majority of this map. There's no doubt about it. So what we're going to try to do is damage them from a distance. If we can manage to do that, maybe it won't be so bad. Beautiful. Keep on firing, son. Love seeing all the smoke pop up there. And I'm hoping that's not just defensive smoke. I think most of that is coming from our artillery, from our actual rounds being fired. There's going to be another one being fired out here from Tank 212. Beautiful. We can't see too much of what's going on from this side because the enemy's quite well dug in on those hills. But I think this is going to be going pretty well. The real question is, do we want to push our luck? Oh, look at that. So that's actually enemy smoke. A lot of that is enemy smoke to try and avoid getting hit. But if we really want to push our luck, we can attempt another assault. Although you can see the Germans here with their MG-42s. They're going to be prepared for any assault we make. I think maybe we should just thank our lucky stars that we have taken the trenches and be satisfied with that. You can see there's still some enemies in those pillboxes. Most of the areas, though, are under our control. And over here by this pillbox, for instance, look at all of those dead Germans. 3 dead Germans as they were trying to exit this pillbox and escape. Of course, nope, that's a dead German too. Hey, not so bad. I was going to say I thought that was a dead Soviet troop, but I think most of our Soviet troops fell before they even made it to the hill. Although we still have a lot here. We need that overwhelming tank power to really be able to do any damage. We've got a third tank over here, so let me grab him. And I am going to fast move him over here. Hope these guys are providing some pretty good support fire. We don't need this. I didn't realize we had this tank right here. Let me reverse. And then we'll send him to another location. So already pretty badly bogged down in these trenches. And I told you guys this could happen. Getting bogged down in the trenches, it can really slow down progress. Let's go for an attack. I'm assuming they are not going to be having a lot of AT guns, but as you can see with the few command points we have, it's going to be only executed partially, so not all of these tanks are going to follow this order. Yeah, we still have a few Germans here for sure. We'll let this T-34 deal with them. I'm going to have to turn his gun around a bit here. And again, executed partially. We're going to have to wait just a little bit, guys, until those points regenerate. In the meantime, obviously, our goal is to try and damage as many Germans on that side as we can. There we go. Is that an artillery strike? I believe that could have been an artillery strike called in by our spotters. We're going to see pretty damn soon, but, I mean, the cover that the enemy has here, especially with all that tree cover, it's going to be a challenge to really do some damage here to them. Beautiful. We've got more and more Soviet troops arriving every day. And this is what I talked about the men coming up the hill getting taken out. Actually, no, these guys are fine. These guys are fine. Got to find at least one dead Soviet, unless we're really doing that good. I guess so. All right, one vehicle lost. This is why I was afraid about the tank attack, but it looks like it might just be a machine gun or something like that. And yes, for whatever reason in this game, machine guns and mortars count as vehicles too. Let's just take this. Oh no, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. Get out of the trench. Go, go, go. Yeah, let's just keep him focused on that area. We could do a whole lot of damage from here. Nice! You can see those explosions occurring over there in the woods. The Germans must be terrified. Although I don't think they're under any impression that we're going to be able to break through those lines. Let's try to change that. There are just enemy trenches everywhere. And if need be, and yes, we can do this, I will just drive over this unit, which I think is what this T-34 guy is going to do. Might get himself stuck in the process, so obviously be careful. And let's turn that trajectory forward. It's good to see that those rounds are still going out. Our mortarmen are doing a really great job in this battle, softening up the German lines. Oh! That was a beautiful little hit over there. Now, that may have been just enemy smoke. That looked like the enemy AT gun just exploded. Beautiful. Keep it up, boys. Consistent fire from the tanks. This is what we need. Let's show Fritz we mean business. Looks like a lot of that heavy artillery now coming in seems to be enemy heavy artillery. But we've also got just about every single one of our infantry groups on top of this hill. So it's going to be dangerous, but don't forget they can take cover in some of these trench locations. And look at that, more German prisoners. We've got even more German prisoners. I think Uncle Joe's going to be pretty damn happy. We might not be able to take this entire map, but the fight we have put up here has been pretty damn good. Again, boys, if you want to help the channel, like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Definitely subscribe to my Twitch channel. I always put the link down below. I tend to anyway. And the reason being, we've just upgraded the Twitch channel. It's looking a lot better. We're going to keep adding to it. And I'm going to be getting a new PC here in a few weeks, where I think that the games that we play there, we can certainly really try our luck on a bunch of different games. Maybe even some high-res stuff that we didn't get an opportunity to play before. Well, to be fair, a lot of people consider Graviteam high-res, even though it's not too high-res, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. I hate that AT gun is still going, but at least we're hitting the position. And it's pretty damn hard, even for an AT gun, to kill one of these T-34s. Let's go full aggressive with Muralev. Oh, vehicle lost as soon as we went full aggressive. That's a lesson to be learned, of course. And as you can see, so we can't see the AT gun, so more than likely we're out of its range. But it's also out of our range in the process. I feel pretty comfortable right here, just holding this hill location. Letting the enemy ask for a ceasefire if they so choose. Oh boy, some mines also causing problems here for our tanks. They could be taking the tracks off. Nice. Keep it up, boys. Keep it up. Those German machine gunners are having some pretty serious issues keeping us back. If only we had a few more infantry groups. Oh! Beautifully done. Beautifully done right there. If we had only a few more infantry groups, we could overrun this area as well. In fact, we might still try it, but I feel like even that would be a little bit reckless. going to be another T-34 down, although he doesn't look lost. Could have been a false call there by the PC. Look at this. We've got another tank. Is this guy damaged? Take a look at those tracks. Tracks look okay. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Lost his left track, man. What a pain. And that's all due to mines. That's not even enemy fire. But look at that. Getting some massive, massive artillery. And actually, enemies calling in artillery danger close here to try and save their men. I guess it's a good call, but it's going to give us an opportunity to potentially get some accidental kills from the enemy's artillery. They might actually end up killing some of their own men unknowingly. Light them up, boys. Couldn't last forever. At least Muratev, the tanker here, is managing to do a lot of damage. But no tracks at all, so he's fighting a battle to the death here. There's a medal in it for you, Muratev, if you can hold on just a bit longer. Status of the crew inside the vehicle seems to be okay. They're just searching for targets. What I'm going to do is give him a firing arc here. That is weird. Okay, we can't actually set up the firing arc. I'm just going to let him go ahead and keep on shooting here. Again, we could land the command points for sure. Yeah, our command level is dropping. And this is the reason we can't really set targets. For the tank, we pretty much have to leave it up to the men. And that first initial charge up the hill had its benefits. But if we don't keep up this damage, then maybe it was all for naught. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, son. Make them work for it. Got Germans down all over the place here. Nice. And I think there's no way that we're going to be able to push on those other enemy positions, at least not in this battle. If you guys enjoyed this battle and you want to see the next part of this private campaign I'm playing, let me know, and we'll absolutely do the next fight. We're getting some tank support, some additional tank support, believe it or not. Just so many Germans. For once, we are the Soviets and we do not have the numerical superiority needed to take the enemy out here. But we're not leaving this position. There we go. Love the spotters calling in all those rounds, too. Just got to inch a little bit closer. we'd all agree that our men fought sufficiently up until this point. You know, taking that hill with heavy casualties, but taking it nonetheless. And you can see a lot of these guys, sure, they could be up close and personal firing, but I can understand why they're deciding to take this approach and stay behind cover, because anybody going to this side, whether it's us or the enemy, actually ends up getting hit by the enemy units. Alright, I was going to turn Murlev that way, but he seems to know what he's doing. And if he's still got that machine gunner going, then we can certainly do additional damage. That was a total miss. Come on, Murlev. Unless you see something we don't, buddy. We still have some machine guns here. We just don't have all those fancy tracer rounds that the Germans seem to have. We do have them on our tanks, but I guess maybe with our basic infantry, it's not as important. Be careful, man. You got enemies approaching right there, Murlev. Yeah, some of these Germans are doing the right decision and trying to escape back behind this hill, or perhaps just to the top of the hill, because they're pretty out in the open now. And even though the lack of tracer fire is there, we're definitely getting hits on the enemy. The question is, do we want to really push it and go full aggressive? Just do a charge for the sake of getting on this side of the hill and maybe getting some superior firepower? I don't know, man. Take a look up here and see if that's even feasible. No, we have no more support. I think we should be happy with the point we've taken. We've accomplished our main goal of taking the hill now. We're pretty much just waiting for the enemy to offer a ceasefire. Nice, Murlev. Again, it just seems to be the gunner, really, that's doing all the damage here. With the vehicle actually immobilized, I wouldn't be surprised if we perhaps lost just a few of the crew there. Probably the machine gunner as well. I'd actually even like to reset that. Oh, alright, that worked pretty well. Maybe we can keep him in this arc for now. Nice. And now let's turn his arc this way. We're going to be ignoring some of the enemies on our left side. We've done quite a lot of damage to them. You can see the results right there. So I think it's okay for us to take a little break and try and focus on the enemies directly ahead of us. Oh boy. It's just continuous heavy fire there. They don't want us to even get a chance. Nice. That's what we need to see from Murlev. He keeps looking over there to the left, though. He doesn't need to. We really just need his fire on these other locations, especially among the enemy emplacements, machine gun emplacements, artillery emplacements, etc. Okay, look at that. The battle is actually coming to a close. Didn't expect that to occur, but again, we hold the hill. I doubt this will count as a victory in the grand scheme of things because the enemy has so many locations here, including their main strong point. But we've gotten a little bit closer to Fritz, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to take him out. I can see what he's trying to shoot, by the way. Our tanker's trying to take out this enemy machine gun here. Pretty nicely in place, though, entrenched, I should say. So it's going to have to be a really lucky shot from Muralev. Although we've seen some pretty cool shots in the past in this one battle. Again, don't forget, guys, subscribe to that Twitch channel. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. We have pretty much completely given up on live streams on YouTube. It's just not profitable. It's not worth it. At least on Twitch, you know, we can interact with you guys. We can actually get messages in the chat when you follow us. We've got some pretty funny messages there. Just a lot more interaction with the actual viewers than you get here on YouTube. It's not to say we're totally going to end YouTube or stop doing things on YouTube, but at least for our live streams, I think that's the way it's got to go. Yeah, these guys are spent. Dasarov is spent. Brushov is spent. Maybe not Brushov. What amazes me is Muralev is still alive. This guy's definitely going to have to get a hero of the Soviet Union actual medal here for all the work he's done at just pretty much cleaning these trenches out of Germans. We even got one of the communication guys here for the Germans, probably making communications from behind the line a lot more difficult. So I think he's done a good job. I wonder what his kill count is, but it's got to be pretty damn impressive. Not everybody was as lucky as Muralev. You can see our tankers here. One of them even trapped under the tracks. Just in their escape, their panic to escape. The tank was still moving a bit as it rolled off the actual track here and ran over 2 or 3 of these guys. I think this one in the front and this secondary one were already dead as they exited the vehicle. But that third one, as you can see with the blood, was completely just crushed by our own tank. Serves him right for trying to escape. That's what I say. We still have some enemies over here in these woods. But frankly, the enemy trench locations could be going all around here. There are crater holes here from previous battles. Our artillery, you can see that have completely knocked down a lot of these trees, but it could also be hiding some trench locations. Wait, crew returns? Okay, we had a crew return to one of the tanks. Not that it can really do much at this point, but it's a start nonetheless. Da! Fight away, boys. Be careful, Rokalev. There are German snipers all over the place. German machine gunners firing on their location. And I love that Muralev is still firing away at the enemy. He hasn't stopped since the beginning of the battle. There's another hit. I don't know how much effective, or how much less effective tank rounds are against just basic artillery or even mortars when it comes to taking out infantry. But if anybody wants to calculate that and let us know in the comments down below, please do. Oh, we just completely evaporated one of the German commanders there. Great shooting. We knew he was a commander because of that flag on top of him. But that's exactly what we want to do, is at least try and knock out some of the German officer class. If we can't knock out their AT gun, we can at least damage that officer class quite significantly. Pretty much anywhere forward from this location at the trench is a kill zone. And we could see that again, not just with our own men, but look at these Germans down. Actually, this guy's a German. Over here, we've got a Soviet, another Soviet here. As we go down here, of course, more Germans as they tried to escape. The Germans that actually surrendered to us earlier in the battle were the smart ones. They knew they weren't going to make it through. And it's going to be a draw. That's actually an acceptable outcome for this battle. Usually Graviteam is pretty crazy on the outcomes. But if you take a look here, guys, 28 killed on our side, 74 killed on the German side, although we had 162 heavily wounded. And I think that's partly because the reason those guys may have died is because they couldn't get those guys off the field to actually treat them. We saw the radio communicators get taken out. Potentially that's what occurred here. Although technically we actually lost some territory, nonetheless, I think we came out on top there. Also managing to destroy a bunch of the enemy guns. And look at this, 3 tanks and SPGs. I think this is incorrect. Maybe the SPGs are just the actual AT guns, which would make sense. But guys, if you enjoyed this battle, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. And again, as always, thank you so much for watching. Support these Graviteam Tactics videos if you want to see more. I know this is one of the favorite series we do on the channel, so let's try to do a little bit more of it. Thanks again, guys.